Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Burnt Pancakes podcast, the podcast where motherhood is messy, it's funny, and way more fun when we do it together. I'm your host, Katie Fensky, a proud millennial mom who grew up with Dunkaroos, pagers, and low-rise jeans we probably all regret. This is the podcast where I remind moms that everyone burns their first pancake. Now, today's episode is a solo one, and it is for my fellow millennial moms, the ones who thought we were still cool until Gen Z came along and informed us that we were, in fact, not. We're actually cringe. We're outdated, and we are wearing the wrong jeans, I guess. So, buckle up. Grab your emotional support iced coffee and let's talk about what makes us millennial moms. From our so called cringe habits to how we're parenting our Gen Alpha kids, and why I fully believe we are still the funniest, most nostalgic, and most emotionally resilient generation of moms yet. So let's do this. I want to start with a little game I like to call You Know You're a Millennial If. Here are just some wildly nostalgic things from our childhood that instantly will transport us back. And honestly, they still live rent free in our brains. So, you know, you're a millennial if you remember dialing someone on your landline and having to talk to your friends' parents before you got a hold of them. You know, you're a millennial if the exact timing to hit record on your boombox to make the perfect mixtape off the radio was the thrill of your day. You know you're a millennial if you burnt CDs with titles like Spring Break '03 or made a personalized CD for your boyfriend. You know, you're a millennial if you lived for Friday nights on the couch with TGIF with shows like Boy Meets World, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Step by Step, Full House, all of those. You know, you're a millennial if you survived the emotional roller coaster of dial up connections. That sound is still engraved in my brain. I think we should hold a contest to see who could do the best imitation of that sound. You know, the and just waiting to log on. You know you're a millennial when you know what the pager code 143 means. If you've ever heard that. You know you're a millennial if your school backpack had either a Lisa Frank folder, a Trapper Keeper, and at least one Tamagotchi on life support. You know you're a millennial if you knew someone who broke their ankle because of Heelys. And you know you're a millennial if you remember the TRL countdown and the deep emotional drama of whether NSYNC or Backstreet Boys would hit number one. I mean, this list could go on forever, but if even one of these made you laugh or cringe or mentally sing Destiny's Child song, welcome to the club. You are a certified millennial, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So, before we dive into some fun, let's take a quick second to just define who we're talking about here. So, millennials were typically born between 1981 and 1996. So, if you're somewhere between your late 20s, early 40s, right now, congratulations, you are one of us. I was actually born in 1981, which makes me an older millennial, but a millennial nonetheless. Someone the other day defined older millennials as geriatric millennials, and I almost died. But, anyways, you likely remember life with and without the internet, and you probably had a very intense relationship with CD binders at some point. So, we were kids who grew up on TGIF shows, Trapper Keepers, dial up internet. We survived Y2K. We watched the rise of boy bands and knew the pain of accidentally hitting the internet button on your flip phone and panicking because it was going to charge your mom's bill. Now, millennials were raised to believe that we could do anything. And now we're pretty tired. We're overextended and wondering why No one has prepared us for things like RSV season and how expensive daycare is. Now, some stereotypes. We have got plenty of them. Millennials are stereotypically obsessed with brunch, memes, and iced coffee. Okay, not going to lie, love them all. We're emotionally attached to TV shows that ended, 15 years ago. Absolutely. And this is probably why shows like Cobra Kai and Stranger Things have such a hold on us. We're nostalgic. We still try to heal from trauma caused by low rise jeans and magazines like Teen, YM, and 17. We have at least one drawer full of tangled charging cables that we're afraid to throw away. And we can quote Mean Girls and The Office and Friends like it's scripture. But we're also known for being really resilient, really creative, and emotionally intelligent. We're the generation that turned side hustles into careers and normalized talking about mental health. We were the guinea pigs of the digital age, and now we're raising kids in a world where ChatGPT can literally write school essays and toddlers can unlock phones with just their faces. So, yeah, we're a very multi talented generation. Okay, so let's start with the elephant in the room here. According to Gen Z, we are cringe. And honestly, they're not totally wrong. I mean, I wore denim baggy overalls to football games in high school, and I thought it was so cool. So let's go ahead and run down a list of millennial crimes against coolness that we're all accused of. First up, skinny jeans. Gen Z says that they're totally out. But to that, I say, have you ever tried chasing toddlers in wide leg jeans? I need the ankle tight. I need compression. I don't have the time or emotional energy for flare pants that drag in the Chick-fil-A parking lot. I've had 3 kids. I like high waisted. I like snug. It took me so many years to be okay with skinny jeans, and now they're telling us that they're out, and I'm just not ready for that change. Next up is the side part. Apparently, middle parts are in. And look, I do have a middle part just to keep me from aging myself. But this is a huge change, and it took me forever to adjust to that. And I still don't know why we had to make that change. Okay. Then we are also known for our infamous peace sign, kissy face selfie combo, which I mean, come on, we all do it. If you didn't throw up a peace sign with a duck face in your MySpace picture, were you even alive in '07? It's kind of just a natural instinct for me when I turn the camera around. And even in 10 years, I don't think I'll be able to stop myself. We also get called out for saying things like adulting is hard and I did a thing. And let's not forget emojis. I use the laughy face emoji more than anything else, more than typing. And Gen Z says that's cringe. They prefer the skull, which I mean, kind of feels aggressive, but also very accurate for how motherhood actually is. But honestly, if drinking iced coffee out of a Stanley cup while wearing high waisted leggings and blasting early 90s bangers is wrong, then I don't want to be right. I like that. Okay, let's talk about the real plot twist in our lives. We are parents in the generation that is rating Gen Alpha, and we're still trying to figure out how to be grown-ups ourselves. Like, we want our kids to have emotional intelligence, but also put your shoes on. Please, for the love of God, put your shoes on. We're out here breaking generational cycles. We're trying to regulate our nervous systems, practice gentle parenting, and explain to our toddlers that feelings are okay, while also not being okay with them throwing spaghetti on the ground. And yet, half the time, we're whisper yelling, use your words, while none of our own correctly because we're running around on caffeine and just don't know what to do. Also, Let's talk about screen time guilt. We didn't even have tablets growing up. Our road trips, the entertainment was I Spy, Slug Bug, and the 10 songs that we burned onto a CD. Now my kids ask, does the park have Wi-Fi? I'm like, it's a park. Go touch some grass, literally. But we're trying to raise kind kids, confident, emotionally secure kids. But also, we're trying to just get through the day without losing our minds over a missing shoe or someone yelling mom from the bathroom again. So, what does make us millennial moms? Well, we're this like weird generational bridge. We remember life before smartphones, but now we panic when we can't find our own for like 30 seconds. We survived dial up internet and now have multiple kids streaming different shows on different devices all at the same time. We know what it's like to burn mixed CDs for a crush, and now we pretty much burn out by 4 p.m. if we forget to take our magnesium. Our version of self care is going to the grocery store alone with a latte and listening to a true crimes podcast like we're soothing bedtime stories. We say things like, we don't say but at the table while scrolling memes that say hot mess express and mama needs wine. We wear leggings labeled workouts that have never really actually been inside a gym. And let's not forget the nostalgia. Oh my gosh, if I hear a song from middle school, I am immediately transported back to standing in the Hollister store, reapplying my lip smacker, wondering if my crush would smell my cucumber melon body spray from across the mall. But now those malls are pretty much dead, and we are the ones driving the carpool. Now, it's so funny. I turned to my husband the other day and we were listening to like a early 2000s hip hop song, and I was like, these are the oldies of our generation. Our kids consider these oldies music. Just blew me away. Okay. But here's some things that we just love about ourselves. We are funny, we're self aware, and we're really doing the work. We're raising kids and learning how to prioritize ourselves and ask for help. We're parenting differently, and yes, imperfectly. We might be using outdated slang and the wrong part in our hair, but we're also teaching our kids about feelings and boundaries and screen time limits while we secretly binge Netflix after they go to bed. We are exhausted and we're caffeinated, but we're goofy and grounded. And we are cringe, but we're crushing it. And if anyone says otherwise, I just show them the peace sign and keep walking in my skinny jeans because we're millennial moms and it's cool to be millennial moms. All right. Thank you for hanging out with me for this episode of the Burnt Pancakes podcast. If this episode made you laugh, made you feel seen, or made you want to immediately text your millennial friend in a group chat, then please share it with me, share it with them, leave a review, and tag me on Instagram. My handle is Burnt Pancakes with Katie. So until next time, millennial moms, keep rocking those leggings, sipping that iced coffee, and remember, you're not cringe, you're just vintage. So until next week's Momversation, remember everyone burns their first pancake, so just keep flipping.